On the 4th of March, UFC 285, Jon Jones will be returning after a 3-year layoff to fight Ciryl Gane for the heavyweight title. While he is viewed as the greatest fighter by many people, the odds are stacked against him. Ciryl Gane is a special fighter, moving like someone 100 pounds less than him, and a long layoff could cause problems for Jon, especially after his usual antics. Can the greatest of all time pull this off and claim another title, or will this be the time Bones finally falls? Through fighter study and analysing his opponent, I want to create a clearer understanding and ponder whether this will finally be the time that breaks Bones. Jon Jones has a very kick-heavy style, mainly targeting the lead leg and the body with round kicks as well as oblique kicks, a technique he's quite notorious for using. Gane generally is also very kick-heavy, although he appears to be lighter on his feet. Jon uses a post and retreat method to avoid strikes at range, but over the years, as fighters have gotten longer, it's become less effective as they're able to just reach over the defense. You can see how Gustafsson, like I said before, he can just reach over Jon's defense and still hit him. Where I see the most danger for Jon is with head kicks. He tends to block them with one hand, which in MMA gloves doesn't stop all the impact. If Gane can set up a head kick like he did on Taito Iwasa, the fight could be over, because just having your hand up isn't going to block the impact of a heavyweight head kick. I do, however, think that it's going to be harder to set up knockout techniques on someone like Jon Jones. If you watch the fight with Ciryl Gane and Taito Iwasa, Tai was reacting very heavily to the body kicks, which then let Ciryl Gane set up the high kick. I don't think you're going to be able to set up techniques like that on Jones, someone who's been around for over a decade and fought a lot of very heavy hitters. So now I've shown you ways that Ciryl Gane can be successful. I'm going to show you why I think that Jon Jones is going to overall win the striking exchanges, even though that's where Ciryl Gane is best. Ciryl Gane heavily relies on his speed to avoid damage. This is effective at the biggest, slowest weight class in the UFC, but how is it going to work against Jon Jones? Gane may have the pure striking advantage, but relying on speed may not work for him. Jon Jones has fought in the light heavyweight division for over a decade. He's very used to fighting people who are a lot faster than Gane's opponents. When you look at Gane's opponents, people like Derek Lewis, Alexander Volkov, he's had a significant speed advantage in all of his fights. He's never fought someone with Jones' speed before, and he's never fought someone as kick-heavy as Jon Jones. We've seen Jones break people down as the fight goes on, and I do believe he's going to do this to Ciryl Gane as well. If Jones can interrupt Gane's setups while landing his own kicks throughout 25 long minutes, he'll win the striking battle, especially later on in the fight. We've seen Jon Jones fight people who are faster than he is. We've seen Jon Jones fight people who hit harder than he does. We haven't really seen Ciryl Gane fight someone who's quicker than him, or someone who can outkick him. I think that Jon Jones' experience over 5 rounds for so many years is what's going to keep him safe during the stand-up, and even take over in the later rounds. This is where Jon Jones is going to dominate this fight. We've seen a young Gane show some holes in his grappling, and a guy like Jon Jones will absolutely exploit them, even with his size disadvantage. Jon Jones is incredibly quick to readjust off an initial shot and get the takedown, even if the first attempt is defended. Dominic Reyes is a very athletic fighter and showed amazing takedown defense, so Jon had to use his veteran fight IQ to secure his takedowns. You can see that he never gets the first takedown against Reyes, but his quick adjustment and second shot completely throws Reyes off and eventually gets him down. If Jon Jones can secure takedowns on Dominic Reyes, he can absolutely do it to Ciryl Gane, even being able to use Cyryl's size and weight against him. Ciryl Gane has shown a couple times to be too eager when hunting for submissions, which gets him into bad positions on the ground. It costs him the fight against Ngannou, and someone like Jon Jones would be quick to establish a dominant position off of a mistake made by Ciryl Gane. If Jon does capitalize off of a mistake made by Ciryl, the fight could be over. Jon has a true killer's instinct and won't hesitate to drop heavyweight bombs if he sees an opportunity. Just look at how quick he finishes Gustafsson in their rematch. It looks like he gives up on the choke and then just goes for ground and pound. 5 seconds later, the fight's over. Jon's level of skill and fight IQ is going to completely overwhelm Gane, especially in the grappling. Even if Gane uses his size and strength to defend the first takedown, what about the next one? What about when Jon finds better timing or he readjusts after the initial shot? Gane showed mediocre defense against Ngannou, someone with a rudimentary wrestling game. Imagine what Jon Jones could do. I mentioned earlier how Jon Jones has the odds stacked against him, and this is mainly true outside of the cage. Jon Jones hasn't been in the octagon in over 3 years, his longest layoff. Ironically, he hasn't even been suspended during this time. Some fighters return after long layoffs as if they'd never left at all, and others never return the same. While Jon Jones is no stranger to absences from the cage, 3 years is a long time for anybody. In usual Jon Jones fashion, he's not kept out of trouble either, having a domestic violence situation and various photos of him being arrested. While Jon's behaviour is inexcusable, it never seems to affect his ability to fight, so maybe we can just assume it won't affect him come fight day. If you look at recent interviews and social media posts, he seems to be in a good spirit. Social media doesn't tell the whole story, but as someone who's watched Jon Jones for a long time, he seems in good spirits and he seems motivated to fight. And finally, the X factor of it all, Jon Jones will be competing at heavyweight for the first time in his professional career. It's a big change for him, and he's going to be facing an incredibly skilled competitor. It really is impossible to predict how he's going to look. Will he have knockout power? Will he be slower? Will he have even more strength? It's impossible to know until fight day, but I believe that no matter how he looks, Bones will remain unbroken. The most important part of fighting is the mind, and Jon maybe has the best mind in the world for martial arts. The heavyweight division is generally known as the least skilled division, so the guy with the best skills in the world will shine there, provided he can avoid the devastating knockout blows. Predicting fights is an impossible task, but if I was to try, I would say Jones dominates this fight. He'll constantly disrupt Gane with his kicks, then he'll use his fluid grappling to completely outclass Gane on the ground. In spite of everything, Jon Jones will always be one of my favourite fighters. He's the person that inspired me to become a fighter myself, and I do believe he's going to win in spite of all the things against him. But what do you think? Feel free to leave a comment, and thank you for watching my video.